Hey everybody, it's Plav from BowEcho, youtube.com/3plav3. In this video, as you can tell by the title probably, I'll be answering some questions that were asked by you guys in the previous video in which I answered some questions, and those were asked down in the comments. So before we get started, just a reminder, ask your own questions in the comments down below on this video, and they'll be answered in the next, I guess you could say, episode of these question answering videos. And those questions can be mainly pretty much about anything. They don't have to be limited to Halo or my channel or anything. They can, like I said, be about pretty much anything, as I really do enjoy getting these questions from you guys, because I don't really get to talk to you guys this way in any other videos, meaning like freely and just kind of with the flow. So yeah, if you have a question, please do ask, as it's kind of cool. I get to address you guys individually, as it's kind of the least I could do, as I'm just always appreciative of all your support. So moving on to these questions now, but before I get started, I must say I do sort of have a kind of bad cold right now, so that kind of explains if I sound weird or different at any point in this video. You might have already noticed it, but anyway, I can make it through it. So the first question is asked by Spartan1200. He asks, what was your favorite Halo campaign based on the story? So based on the story, what was my favorite Halo campaign? Well, for me, the story has a lot to do with how I enjoy the campaign and stuff, because that's pretty much for me what it's all about and stuff, because it kind of is. So my favorite Halo campaign in general was Halo 3, so I'll definitely go with Halo 3 on this answer for my favorite campaign based on the story, because like I said, it's a big part for me. I just feel like there was so much going on in Halo 3, but it was put together so well. Like all the missions, I can't think of a mission I didn't really enjoy. Maybe Cortana, but then again, if I went and played Cortana right now, I'd just probably end up having so much fun. So I have so many memories from that game, so many good times playing that, as the overall atmosphere, feeling of that game was just, I found it incredible. And it's kind of like the grand finale for Bungie's trilogy with Master Chief, because Reach obviously was a prequel, but fighting on Earth was a big plus for me, as I don't know, I just, for some reason personally, I love when Halo is on Earth, probably because I live on Earth and I can connect to it the most. Throughout Halo 3, it really did feel like, you know, you had a lot depending on you, Master Chief, well, because you were fighting for your Earth, the whole planet, fighting alongside the Arbiter. Just so many aspects in that story that I loved. So thanks for the question. Definitely Halo 3, my favorite Halo campaign based on the story and in general. So the next question, we have HappyZoo5 asking two questions. First off, what is your knowledge of Pi? And number two, do you think that 343 should implement the ability to switch game modes in Forge for the ease of access of map builders? And you stress in Forge, which I understand meaning in the game while you're actually in a Forge editing session. Gotcha. So actually I'm going to start with your first question, because that caught my attention right away. My knowledge of pi, you obviously spelled it pi, so you're referring to the math related pi. It's a ratio, I know, involving circles. I think I'm pretty sure it's circumference to the diameter, if I'm correct. And then for the digits, obviously 3.14 and then 159, that's as far as I can go with pi. I know people who can list it on a whole board. I'm just like, really? Okay. So maybe that's you, HappyZoo, I don't know, but if you do, I guess props to you, because I can barely remember just a couple numbers of it. But yeah, 3.14159. So yep, thanks for that question. And moving on to your second one. So you're wondering if I think if 343 should implement a way to switch your game modes while you're forging to make it easier for map builders. Well, first of all, please note that I'm not a big forger, so I'm probably not the best one to be answering this question, but I have friends who forge a lot, and yeah, it would be a small change. I feel like it's not a huge problem right now, but it would be, yeah, helpful, definitely, and make it easier for map builders. So yeah, I agree with you. If it makes sense to do it, and it's probably definitely possible, so why not? So thanks for your questions, HappyZoo5, and I will continue studying my pi. Next question is asked by Lost Protocol ZX, and he says, what do you want to see in Halo 5, and what do you think the Halo franchise should do that's new and won't ruin the game? Let's see, so what do I want to see in Halo 5? I could honestly probably make a whole video on that one question, but to keep it simple, I just want to see growth in Halo 5 development. What 343 has learned throughout this whole Halo 4 journey, I want to call it. And trust me, I'm pretty sure they've learned quite a bit, as they've already showed that they have, and that they've listened and all that good stuff with all their, updates and all that good stuff as well. So Yeah, I just want to see a really, really, really solid, well put together game. I don't want to see it rushed in any way that a lot of people argue Halo 4 was, which it sort of was. I just want to see a game that, you know, kind of bounces Halo back up, because even starting with Halo Reach, it's sort of, you know, people started dropping off the train, and then Halo 4 didn't help, but so Halo 5 is obviously going to be a really important game for 343 and sort of the whole Halo franchise, as yeah, there's a lot on the line if you think about it. The people that are still here who play Halo 4 may not completely like be all happy about it and stuff, but yeah, good Halo 5 is definitely needed. So what do I want to see in Halo 5? I want to see fixes, changes, everything that they've learned put together into a solid game. And once again, if you know me, I always think sequels to trilogies are the best, even though this may not be a trilogy anymore, which kind of scares me, as it's more of the saga, but yeah, we'll see about that. And what do I think the Halo franchise should do that's new and won't ruin the game? Wow, let's see here. I've kind of come up with, it's not really new, but it's a new way of implementing aspects of the game that, you know, are already in it and stuff. So actually a friend of mine sort of had this idea and was sharing it not the other day, maybe a couple good weeks ago, but so Reach lost some people because they didn't like armor abilities. Halo 4 obviously had armor abilities and you could put them in your custom loadouts and stuff, but the idea this friend had was that remember the equipment in Halo 3, like the power drain, bubble shield, regen field? So he thought you put armor abilities in the place of those equipment and you use them basically the same way. They don't last your whole spawn or anything. They could last a good amount of time. Like you pick up a jetpack, and his idea was you have a certain amount of gas you can use in it, and once it's gone, well, it's gone. You can find it another one on the map later. We have seen armor abilities like placed on the map in certain game types and stuff, but they didn't really play like equipment did, as they were basically just on you the whole time until you died. But yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. It would definitely keep armor abilities in the game, which I personally don't think are a bad thing. But when you can pick whatever loadout you want and have an armor ability on it, coupled with default sprint, I just feel like that's a no-no personally. But I think how sprint was in Reach was fine as an armor ability, but in 4 as a default, I just don't think that's a good idea at all. But I've gotten used to it. I don't know. It's just having no sprint as a default would be so big and just so simple. But whatever, I'm not talking about sprint right now. I'm talking about new stuff that won't ruin the game. So another thing I was thinking of was customization. And I know you're going to say Halo 4 has tons of customization for the most part. That was a big, you know, thing about Halo 4. Tons of customization. Obviously you got your custom classes, but I'm not a huge fan of the custom classes or Infinity Slayer or anything like that. But trust me, I still play it and love it, but I just don't prefer it. But what I was going to say was add some new customization in the sense of, I don't really know how to explain it, but like weapon customization. I know I had hopes, I believed that Halo 4 was going to have the type of customization that you see in like Battlefield, for example. You can pick different scopes for your guns. I know you don't look down the sights in Halo, but when you scope in, you could have different, you know, scopes for people, even maybe different reticles, I don't know, but you could have sights. There's stuff they could put in the game, like suppressors. That'd be kind of weird. You'd probably have to keep custom loadouts if you did that, which I guess is okay, but yeah, why not do that? It's new, it's different. I don't think it would ruin it for the most part. You know, obviously get the people saying, oh, this is just like COD, but yeah, there's a lot of things in Halo 4 that's pretty much just like COD, so it's a small thing like that, like you said, I really don't feel would ruin the game. If anything, I feel like it would add to the game, because, I don't know, for me it would, because I love Battlefield and all the customization you can do with your guns and weapons and vehicles, but that's the type of customization I prefer and like to see. Yeah, so that was a good question, and it's kind of hard to condense my answer down into this time, but I would love to like make a full video on what I'd like to see in Halo 5 and like, you know, plan it out and stuff, but that's sort of on the fly what I want to say. Hopefully it made somewhat of sense, or some sense. That made no sense in itself, but thank you for your question, and let's move on. So the Darth Lightning asks, why 3plav3? It's a pretty good question. No, I've actually never been asked that before by like in one of these questions. Let's see. Well, when I went to go make a YouTube account, you know, just to comment and stuff, not having any idea of making it into an actual thing or anything, like an actual channel. Well, my gamer tag's Plav43, as some of you might know, and I wanted to make the YouTube channel Plav43, or the YouTube account Plav43, except for some reason I really don't remember why, but it was either taken or I had made it and forgot the password or something. Some silly thing, I can't really remember. So I went ahead and made it 3plav3, I don't know why. I guess I like the number 3, and in case you're wondering, Plav is sort of just an expanded initial of mine, and so I made that username without having any idea of having it become anything really, like a channel. But it did, and yeah, I've stuck with it, and yeah, 3plav3 for the win. So the comment king GoBuy6 asks, what is your favorite game of all time, not including Halo? So you've probably heard me talking about Battlefield a lot throughout this video already. So my favorite game of all time, other than Halo, is Battlefield, or specifically Battlefield 3. That's my jam, other than Halo. So the Lord Terrells, I love that name by the way, asks, can you upload some things on Destiny? I can, but I'm gonna start doing probably Destiny after Destiny comes out. So I won't be like doing Destiny news. I'll leave that for the big guys like more console. So I will definitely upload some things on Destiny once the game comes out. So definitely stay tuned for that down the road quite a ways. But yeah, Destiny's exciting. How can you not be excited about Destiny? I'm excited for Destiny. And I do plan on making, videos on that. I really don't know what specifically, like what type of videos yet. Destiny Machinima would be awesome. So yeah, maybe a little hint there if that works out. But yeah, I'll definitely upload some things on Destiny. Thanks for your question. So last question we have here actually is Spartan123479. How do you fill a lobby for a custom game? I've been making maps for a long time, but never get to test them because I can't fill a lobby. Any tips? So I actually think I responded to this question like in the comments on the other one because I didn't want to leave this guy hanging. But HaloCustoms.com is kind of like the ultimate answer for this guy. Yeah, HaloCustoms.com is basically a place where people plan custom lobbies. I'm sure you could go on there, get to know people, maybe play with them a couple times and say, hey, promote me to leader, I got a map I wanted you to see. And there's also some forging communities that I know do like map test playdates or whatever. So definitely look around, there's many options like I've mentioned. Oh, and you can always just do the classic go into big team, you don't even have to play the game, and you can back out, go to recent players and just invite people like a mother spammer. So that's going to do it for this batch of questions. I hope you've enjoyed, and like I said before, leave your questions down below for the next video for me to answer, as I look forward to getting those and answering them down the road, which will hopefully not be too long of a road. And I apologize if this video was a little spaced after the previous one, and I'll tell you it'll probably be a lot sooner when I do the next one. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Plav from BowEcho, and BowEcho's out.